Hey, it's Max. Welcome to the show, Movie Madness Entertainment. If you're looking for everything in entertainment, you're already in the right place. Please hit that subscribe button, notification bell for more. This is a rough one. This is a hot topic I've seen circulate on X. I am going to be critical of John Rocha. I really love Rocha. I'm a bit a fan of his for years since Collider. I don't always agree with him, but I usually don't agree with them. Like, I'm not this far off on a topic as much as I am this one. There's no way to spin the Marvel. There's no with Marvel what's happening with Fantastic Four. There's no way to frame it or spin it around in a positive direction. This is brutal box office for this. It's possible Superman may actually beat Fantastic Four. And what I think John does here, and please let me know, get your comments in, because I am going to be doing more pre-recorded content on the channel. Live streams aren't going anywhere. I really appreciate all the support. I really want to take this channel to the next level, and that means having the card conversations. When things fail, I'm not happy about them. I love the MCU. I love DC. I love Star Wars. I love Monsterverse. I love the jobs that these multiverse and these big IP franchises offer to the industry and to consumers. And I think it's an exciting time to be alive in entertainment. And I want them to thrive. And I think the only way to do that is constructive criticism. What I will not do, however, is what John does here, that is a pet peeve of mine with fellow movie pundits and people in the industry, is to give excuses and then blame the audience. There are world economic situations that are potentially impacting these superhero movies. And for some reason, superheroes feel just like manga is anime. I think if there's any other genre, there's some genres that are really, you identify with American movies. Superhero movies, I think, are in that too. And there may be, I do think anti-American sentiment is at an all-time high across the world. Whether you think that should be or not, I think that's a factor too. But with John Rocha's comments here, and I'm going to bring it up now, and I cannot go along with this. Some people won't want to hear this, but it might be time to stop putting all, in all caps, all the blame on studios and creatives for underperforming movies. It might be time to start looking at the intelligence level of moviegoers. I hate this commentary, John Rocha, to call the audience stupid. And to be fair, Shiner Workwright, my good pal and movie talk, who I really appreciate his point of view too, is let's not call people stupid. It's different generations, like different type of content. And Gunn is not like my immediate jam, but I give him shots and I end up liking his stuff. But he is in tune with the fast pace in the type of storytelling that's very successful with younger generations. To call people stupid, I don't think that's the right way. Just a different type of media that's popping now and works with the younger audiences. The thing that I think everyone's missing here is Marvel is now at the point where they're going to start to have to recast characters, and they haven't had to deal with that much. They've had to deal with it with Spider-Man, who they've had to beg to get into the MCU and make agreements with Sony. And the only way that works, and the only reason I think Superman is having its success, even though I will trigger people saying it's not just a Superman movie, it's a Justice Gang movie, is having all those extra characters. I think if they would have put, I know people are going to say the quality, it was boring, Fantastic Four. Some of my friends that dislike it, that like Superman. I don't believe that's the case. I think it's a really good movie, but ultimately, that's stuff where the hardcore comic book fans say, you don't need to link everything up. You don't need all these Easter eggs. And even Gunn says you don't need cameos. And he says his characters are supporting characters, whatever the case may be. This is how many times we've rebooted the Fantastic Four. It would have gone a long way to have an extra superhero character in there that you haven't seen yet, or another character you brought back. And that's just the reality thing. Some people might call that cheap, and that might not be the answer, but it works. The audiences reward it. The audience reward Easter eggs, surprises. There's a reason soap operas have worked so well for so many years. And ultimately, besides the quality of the MCU, it was like a soap opera that you couldn't not see the next episode of the soap opera. You thought it was all linking together. They broke that illusion with the MCU shows where they were not as relevant as you thought they were. And to be fair, Captain Marvel was a good movie. It deserved its box office, but the marketing made you feel like you had to see it, and you didn't necessarily have to see that. And now the illusion's broken, and things don't feel fresh enough. Yes, they're okay superhero movies. They're decent superhero movies, but you got to bring something that feels it fresh. If a phenomenon, and this is the other thing I disagree with, John, Jurassic World has a lot of international appeal. It's easily translatable to other dialogues because there's a lot of dinosaur action. That's why Avatar works too. It's easy translatable to other regions. There's a lot of visual effects. It's easy to understand. Not that other regions can't understand these movies. It just makes it more palpable to worldwide audiences. It's a phenomenally stupid film like Jurassic World. I highly disagree. Rebirth can crush films like Superman, Fantastic Four at the box office. Then something might be wrong with all of us. And Caps, not the studios or the creatives. Even though I like Fantastic Four and Superman, they could have been a lot better, a lot tighter, a little bit, a little bit more. They could have been a little bit more. And they're also competing against each other. But I really don't think the answer is to call the audience stupid. And if you go this route, you're going to lose. I do feel that bringing the cost down of these movies is important, and I think we'll get back there. And the other part of the reason that Fantastic Four, I think, is failing, not that they didn't have extra characters. They're going to end up interacting with other superheroes, but the lack of the Avengers is a big deal. These universes thrive the most, in my opinion, when you talk about, let me bring this down. When you talk about the culmination, why are these? Because that's different than comics. Comics, you have crossovers and you still have the comics, but it's so integral to these universes working when you have an event, when you bring them together. And we've been missing that. In DC, ultimately, whether my fellow movie pundits want to admit it or not, ultimately we're leading up to Justice League or Justice League International or Justice Gang or Legion of Superheroes or something. We're leading up to that. And that's the momentum that gets you there. And I think the other thing that happened with Fantastic Four is, regardless of an extra character, you still don't see in this movie, it might be in Doomsday or Spider-Man, you don't see how it's going to link. You don't have enough there to see how it's going to link up to the Avengers. And you need the glue and the breadcrumbs to lead us there. And that's what makes these big universe movies work for me. Look at Godzilla versus Kong. They got to Godzilla versus Kong, and then they're making a third movie. And honestly, I think the last one or two were not that great. They weren't horrible, but the money is still coming in. It's because you lead up You have this event and you keep rolling with it. The Avengers, the Justice League are important to these universes, and we need to know how they fit in. And we have to feel like everything is relevant, important, and links together, whether you like that or not. I know people are going to say the superhero movies should stand on their own. They should stand on their own as well, but that's what we're missing, the special sauce. That's my thoughts. Now it's the time for yours, and I'll see you in another video. Have a good one.